that is just a liberated being. And I'm not sure we know, I don't think I know anybody that's liberated and like fully enlightened and just experiencing this earth right now in that form. But maybe those who've got glimpses of it. And the Dalai Lama might be one. Gandhi could have been somebody that had these components of liberation. What is it to be free within ourselves or in our the capacity of our being? And some of that is to free from our senses. So we'll do a very chill restorative practice. And the first pose we're going to take is Supta Baddha Konasana. You're going to want 2 props to support the outside of your knees. So if you have blocks, that's going to be one wonderful option. Okay, is to have blocks on each side of you. I forgot to turn the lights on, so oops. And then you can have maybe a blanket or a bolster if you have it for the length of your spine. And you can even stack this up. So it could be a few blankets you have, just however high, tall you want to make this. You'll do that for yourself. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can also roll up blankets or, use pillows you have at home to kind of rest under the outside of the knees, but the feet are together, the knees are out to the side. You can gently rest the legs. If you have props behind the spine, you're just going to get them as close as you can to your low back. You'll gently push down as you work your way down. And this is pretty much it. Shoulders are gently apart. Chest is opening. What are a few more things to consider? The breath, maybe the temperature, how comfortable you are if you're feeling a little cold. Putting on a layer if you're feeling a little warm, maybe taking off a layer. If you like a little weight, adding a blanket or something draped over your torso. But finding this pose with support for the legs so the knees can fall apart in Baddha Konasana. In Supta, the supine, the reclining version of it, something to support that if you have it available. And you could be as inclined, right? You could have, like on a wedge, or if you have 2 blocks supporting a bolster for your spine, you could be as, whatever degree inclined you'd like for your spine. And my other feedback would be as much as you can supporting your thigh bone. So you have a very large bone and muscles that wrap around that large bone in your thigh. And we really want to let those muscle groups go. And we create that by creating support up under that bone. So if you have blocks, they may go up a little higher on your leg. They may cover more of the middle upper thigh bone, femur, quadricep, hamstring space, maybe directly under the knees. There's not really a wrong or right answer, but find one that's comfortable for you. And take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale, let it out. Jivamukti, to exist through liberation, with liberation of oneself. What allows you to feel physically liberated in this pose? Do we open up ourselves, our hearts, our bodies? become free. Notice any where you're holding weight in your body, any muscle effort around your toes, your ball mounds, your arches and heels. The backs of your knees, your glutes and hips. Your scalp, your skull, your cheekbones and forehead muscles, your jaw, your neck and shoulders. See if you can relax. Deeper within yourself, from your fingers, your palms, your wrists, to the arms and elbow creases, the armpits. Your low back, your upper back, behind your heart. Let everything go. To free yourselves from everything else and just be. Maybe counting your breath. Inhaling to a count of 6, 7, 8. Taking that same long count on your breath out. Remember that this is a practice, something we must repeat often over an extended period of time. A mindfulness and intention and attention to how we arrive. That maybe this movement towards our own liberation is to see ourselves free of the ideas, the attachments we have to outcomes and experiences, the expectations. How would it feel to be liberated? From anything that keeps you from pursuing what it is you want to, you hope. Any stories, agendas, and commitments. We can just be free of those. What is our experience? Start to deepen your breath. Awareness to your toes, the muscles in the legs. From your scalp to the face, around your shoulders, down and out the arms, into the hands and fingers. Maybe a long stretch, the arms reaching overhead. Coming over onto one side. Props moving aside. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. One more deep inhalation. Fill up, expand. And full exhale as you let go. And then slowly, you'll come up to seated. If you'd like to sit on a blanket or a bolster or pillow to help elevate the hips, you can do that for a moment. Let's let the legs extend out long since the knees were bent. We'll just shake them out. Toes in, out, back, forth, around. And then a comfortable seated posture just to take a few lateral bends here. So your left hand will rest beside you, your right arm will reach up, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bend. Reach your right fingers away from your right hip, look up to the ceiling, and then let that left shoulder soften away from the ear. Maybe you come all the way onto your forearm of the left arm. You can look down and forward and up as you breathe steadily. Notice where the effort clings. See if you can liberate your physical self from this subconscious tension. And then rise on up to seated on a breath in. Right hand will land beside you, left arm will reach up. Big inhale. As you exhale, side bend. From left hip to left fingertips, find space between right ear and right shoulder. Allow there to be some room. Find your full breath in. Maybe a little more to let go as you breathe out. A little lighter, a little freer, and as you inhale, sitting up tall. Okay. And then we'll just take the next posture is just a short forward fold. So if you have props, you can even take like to a corner of a table. If folding forward is really hard for you, I think that it can be kind of, it can be really challenging on the knees, but this will help open up the back. So I'm going to suggest a child's pose with as many props as you might be able to manage. You can have a prop under the butt, okay? So you can have a blanket or pillow on your heels. Take the knees a little wider, and then you have something to help elevate the ground towards you. You can kind of rest on it. So this might also look like child's pose traditional with just a blanket under the chest. We're not going to be here very long. If you want to rest on one ear, you can do that as well. And I'll let you know within about a minute or two to switch up sides. And even if it's just like a chair you have in your house, you can take this, okay, and you can rest in a slight kneeling posture and take a fold like this. So this is just to open up the tops of the quads a little bit, the quadricep muscles, and a little bit of the low back. Try to let your shoulders rest away from your ears if they're up and your arms are elevated. If you're resting on an ear, take about 3 to 5 more breaths. Allow them to be spacious. And exhale through the mouth and switch gears, switch sides. If you're resting on your forehead, you can just stay put. consider what liberated in this posture might be. This is a really challenging pose for a lot of people, whether it comes to hips and knee joints or shoulder and spinal mobility. So don't force yourself into making it work in some version that you think it has to be. I've offered you as many options as I can at this time, but to really know yourself and know your space and make it work for you. This is an inward drawing pose. You're folding upon yourself, within yourself. How can you do that? When is it time to get out if you're feeling, sharp shooting pain? Something's got to change or give. If it's a little bit of just uncomfortable, you'll have to know where your edge is. If it starts, rapid firing, angry, anxious thoughts through your mind, it might be time to free yourself, to liberate yourself physically so you can be rid of those thoughts in those ways, right? Those response reactions. Take a deep breath in, a full breath out. You'll sit up tall as you inhale. Then moving the props aside as you exhale, you'll come from, once again, sitting to your choice, cross-legged, or I'm going to suggest just legs in a straddle. You can have a blanket under your sit bones to give yourself a little bit of elevated space here. And we're just taking twists now. So I just want you to sit up tall. And as you exhale, you're going to twist over to your left. So think about your left hand going behind you and your right hand going to your left thigh bone. You'll sit up as tall as you can. Your feet can go soft. They don't have to be in hard flexion or pointed. Just kind of let your ankles be soft and start to look towards your left shoulder. If it feels all right, you can wrap that left arm around your low back and just allow your hand to rest along the right hip crease, the right thigh bone. If it's, all the way around your back, you can let your forearm rest against your back. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. As you inhale, come through center. Exhale here, let your shoulders fall, kind of shake them back and forth. You'll walk your hands towards the right, breathing in, and then taking the twist into the cervical spine, into the neck and shoulders. Again, check in with your feet, your ankles. Where do we subconsciously, unconsciously bring effort into ourselves, into the experience? Is it linked to our thought processes, the energy we're feeling? Any aches, any pains, any injuries? Breath in. Maybe that left arm's wrapped around the back or resting on the low back. Exhale. Then inhale. You'll slowly come to center. Okay, so we've done a little twisting, a little side bending. We've done a little bit on our backs, slight extension there. So we're going to take the legs up the wall or the legs on a couch or chair. The big thing here is that when you move into this pose, you put yourself directly in front or beside your wall, your couch, your chair. So in this, I'm going to bring this up closer so you can kind of see it. Okay, chair, I'm bringing my calf muscles on here to rest. I would get right up on this, okay, right up on its shoulder. This is a wall. My hip would be touching the wall, okay? My shoulder would be touching the wall. As you go back, you'll swing your legs up. And so our thigh bones get as vertical as they can, and the femur can help settle into the pelvis, that socket there a little bit better. Now you can have a blanket under the head and just like the top of your shoulders. I tend to prefer that. If you have really tight hamstrings, something with the bent knee is going to be a great option. And if you are pretty mobile on your hamstrings, maybe being up at a wall is not going to be too bad. You can even add a blanket or bolster under the length of your spine. So you'll choose what works for you. This is our second longest pose. So get comfortable. Take a deep breath in. A long breath out. Hands can rest on your belly. They can rest beside you. Liberation. Maybe for us that looks like freeing ourselves from the grind culture, right? Why R&R? What is this practice? Is to inspire deep rest, a chance for us to reset. Maybe a version of us is liberated in this moment from the pull around us to do things, accomplish things, when what we need most is to just be and rest and surrender. So there's a harmony between doing and being. When we feel more in balance, not imbalanced. The balanced experience is a bit of the yin, a bit of the yang, a bit of the dark, a bit of the light, the effort, the ease, a collaboration. And this rest being an essential part of it. Breathe deeply. Exhale completely. Repeat. Take up space. Expand. Grow. And then surrender. You breathe out. Release. Let go. Slowly start to bring awareness back to your toes, your scalp, your skull, around the cheek, the muscles, the forehead, the jaw, your throat. If you're along a wall, maybe walking the feet down the door, the wall, knees towards the chest, maybe slightly out. You can hug the knees into your chest, or just walk yourself over onto a side and just pause for a moment. And then I offer to you just to take a deep breath in, a long breath out. Come to a comfortable seated posture, maybe with support. If you're up against a wall, you can just, a door, you can rest along there. Closing the eyes. One more moment here together, a collective experience of slowing down. One of the things that we often find so hard to do. Allow yourself to breathe deeply from belly to chest, collarbone. Energetically rooting down and reaching up through your crown. Exhale. Allow the body to stay lengthy and spacious and everything else to draw in. Notice anywhere the tension's crept up to the hip creases, your abdomen, your back. And see if you can soften it with another breath out. And some words from Patanjali. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your consciousness expands in every direction. And you find yourself in a new, great, and wonderful, wonderful world. dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. This practice, a reminder of just how powerful we are, our potential, our possibility to liberate us from limitations, expectations, rigidity. So we may open ourselves up, bringing the palms together over the heart, chin towards your chest, a moment of gratitude here. The yogis believe this space within the heart, the anahata, the unstruck, is where our universal experience, the cosmic experience of all things, all beings, past, present, and future, connects to our own unique individual experience. And then lifting the thumbs to the third eye, may that essence within us inspire our thoughts, words, actions, behaviors, habits, and samskaras, the patterns in which we move through the world. Bowing forward to seal your practice. Namaste.